Seth, what have you been watching over the last couple of days? And if you want, I mean, go if you want to talk about like Killers of the Flower Moon briefly, you're
I'll
more than
just like
welcome to.
briefly, yeah.
Yeah.
So obviously the most obvious, excited one was Killers of the Flower Moon. I loved it. I truly just loved it. I do think, and I do have a feeling that it will get the same reception as like The Irishman, Silence, where it's like you'll get people loving it, but then you'll get people thinking, okay, I like it, but it's like near the bottom, Scorsese's ranking for me or whatever. The length didn't bother me at all, and that's not just me just saying that. I actually think it even felt faster than The Irishman, for example. I think it really went by weirdly quickly, but I do think it's one of his most monumental achievements in film to date. And I think, I went to the Scorsese talk last week, which was like a bucket list experience, just being in the same vicinity as him and listening to him talk about film and his influences. And I think even that, I kept just, thinking about it throughout the film and thinking about, him speaking about the film before that. Amazing experience. 5 out of 5. So it's the first 5 for me this year. It currently sits 4th in my Scorsese ranking out of 27 films, I think.
So what are the 3 above it, if you know off the top of your head?
Yeah,
I got
so
it. Hold on. I got it. It's Silence
Goodfellas and Silence.
Goodfellas. Is it Taxi Driver? It's got to be Taxi Driver.
Look at us.
So it's and then it's just ahead of Raging Bull at 5. That's what it is.
Gotcha.
So yeah, like really loved it. I went with Josiah. We both just were like just in awe the whole time. And if you watch a 3.5-hour movie, I didn't go to the toilet once. I didn't even look at my watch once. I was just there, and me and him were just locked in. Amazing experience. Loved it. Saw Priscilla as well the day before. Liked Priscilla a good amount. She was like a 3.5, but it was a high 3.5. I think Sphere Cobbler did a really, really good job of showing a notoriously disguised relationship and kind of going into the ins and outs of being critical of Elvis, unlike Baz Luhrmann's Elvis, which was obviously quite fancy and showy offish kind of thing. I think it was good. I think the cast, Jacob Elordi was great. Like I really, really liked him as Elvis.
Is he even comparable to Austin Butler? Or are their performances of Elvis so different that you can't really compare? Because he's not really performing in Priscilla, right?
Yeah, so he's like a subdue kind of individual who's like controlling but kind of subtle. It's not. I don't think you could say like when I put my review on, people were like messaging me saying, "Is he better than Austin Butler?" You can't compare. Do you know what I mean? Because it's just 2 completely different performances. But I think he did really, really well. And I also think that I can't remember the name of the girl who played Priscilla. She was great. She was really, really good. Actually, probably. I mean, they're not comparable at all. But I'm just going to compare them anyway. I prefer it than Elvis. I'll say that. I watched Maestro as well, Bradley Cooper's new film. I give it a 3. Actually, shout out to when I sat down Maestro. I sat down to 2 guys, and then one of them turned around and went, "Oh shit, I watch your videos all the time." I was like, "Oh, nice." And then me and him, I'll shout them actually. Declan and Toby had a nice chat with them too, just about the films they watched. That was really good. Maestro, I liked. I think Bradley Cooper, his abilities as a director is there. Like he knows how to compose an image. Structurally, it was really good. The use of color was great. It was just the script that was a bit lackluster for me. I found it to be a bit too over sentimental at times, a bit too try-hardy, especially with the first half in the black and white section. But it was fine. I also thought it felt like, for example, that was like 2 hours 10, and for me that felt longer than Killers of the Flower Moon did. Like it felt like a long film. I get that 3-star. Overall, decent time. Night Watch, Demons Are Forever, which was a really random Danish horror film. Didn't like it at all. Had a Q&A with the director and the main actress after.
Do you ask him why it sucks so bad?
No, man. It was like they did a Q&A with the audience, and every person who asked them a question was American. I was like, where am I right now? What the fuck? It was really weird. Yeah.
A Danish film in London and American.
And everyone was American. It was so random. But yeah, and then I saw Evil Dead at the same cinema as well on film, 35mm screen of Evil Dead. That was really fun. Great time with that. Boy and the Heron I watched as well. I'm a bit higher on it than George, but not like crazy on it. I don't think it's near, the best I've seen from Miyazaki. I know obviously now we know it's not a send-off film and he's going to be making more films. It did feel like a send-off film. It felt like a final chapter in his direction, all his elements, a very imaginative film, very childhood-like film, dream-like film, such as all his other ones. I give it a 4-star. But I do think, The Wind Rises, Mononoke, Howl's Moving Castle, Brutal Away, I do prefer them. But I still, a low-tier Miyazaki is still like a great film. Do you know what I mean? It's not like another filmmaker where it's, this is the guy. And then the final thing I watched Noir on the way, and I also watched obviously The Exorcist Believer, which I give it a 1 star. And honestly, I'm thinking now, why did I even give it a 1 star? Like, it's crazy. It was, and I'm not exaggerating. It was like really bad, like horrendously bad. I can't. They managed to make an exorcism scene so boring to the point where I was falling asleep the whole time. And we were at the cinema we were in at this event. We had like sofas. It was one of those sort of cinemas, the kind of casual ones. I was literally falling asleep. I was like, this is so shit. So yeah, get that 1 star, could have been a half, but overall, really positive experience. Best thing I watched was definitely Kills the Flower Moon and The Boy and the Heron, and then obviously the Scorsese and Edgar Wright talk was just amazing. That was just fantastic. Probably the best thing of the event. But yeah, really a few good watches this week. A few good watches.
I'm kind of all over the place too, between like film festival, a couple of rewatches, and just some horror stuff. Watch Richard Linklater's Everybody Wants Some. A lot of people have been pushing me to watch that for a while. One of my favorite Linklater immediately.
Is that the one with Owen's review that you tweeted?
Yeah.
What film was this?
Everybody Wants Some.
Glenn Powell. It's a good film.
Great film, yeah. Couple of rom-coms, When Harry Met Sally, You've Got Mail, Sleepless in Seattle.
You're a big Meg Ryan guy.
Big Meg Ryan guy. Love Meg Ryan. 90s Meg Ryan hits different. Couple of film festival stuff. Anatomy of a Fall. Sandra Hüller in that movie is my best actress pick right now. La Chimera. Really like that one. Same with Zone of Interest. I think it's going to be a little bit more of a controversial movie, but I'm very curious to see where you guys land. Same with me, Midnight Ruin. Really enjoyed it. The Davini boys, clearly very inspired filmmakers. I'm very excited to see where they go next. I said in my Letterboxd review, it's the aesthetic of a No Country for Old Men, but it's very ambiguous, and it just asks you it just begs you to ask a lot of questions on life, decision making, morality. So I think they did a really good job with that short film. Really proud of those guys. I watched Jennifer's Body. Did not think I was going to like that movie. First watch. I did not think I was going to like that movie.
I like that film.
I thought everyone was like
meme in it.
Yeah, I thought it was like a meme, the way people kind of did for like Violent Night or something, where it's like, 5 stars, great movie. But no, I gave it a 3.5. I really enjoyed my time with that one. Creep 2, I watched. It's fine. Soul Survivor, shout out Marta for the recommendation. That was a really solid 80s movie. Very reminiscent of It Follows, in terms of it's just very slow, suspense building horror. So if you like It Follows, I definitely recommend checking out Soul Survivor. Eraserhead, we will talk about in like 3 minutes. And then I watched Totally Killer last night, which is, I guess, the horror phenomenon going around. Everyone watched this movie. I thought it was just fine. Definitely laughed more than I expected to, but cute little, time travel slasher flick. So that's about it for me. Couple more, but who cares?